What if I told you there's a book written all the way back in 1937 that claims to hold a secret formula for success? Not just for making money, but for achieving pretty much anything you want in life. Well, that's the incredible promise of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, maybe one of the most important books on success ever written.
And you know, it doesn't mess around. Right from the very first page, it throws down this challenge. It's making this huge promise, basically saying that the ideas inside aren't just feel-good fluff. They have real, tangible, life-changing value.
And that really gets to the core of the whole thing. What if success isn't some random lottery? What if it's more like a science, a learnable formula that anyone, and I mean anyone, can use to get what they want? That's the big question we're going to dig into.
So, where in the world did this audacious formula even come from? This wasn't just some idea Napoleon Hill cooked up in his office. Nope, it was a secret that was passed down to him by one of the richest men in all of history.
The story kicks off more than 100 years ago. You've got Andrew Carnegie, the absolute titan of the steel industry, and he sees something special in this young reporter, Napoleon Hill. So he gives him a challenge, a wild proposal really, to go out and discover the universal formula for success and then share it with the world.
And let me tell you, this was not a weekend project. Carnegie's challenge basically launched Hill on this epic, multi-decade mission to figure out and write down the rules of achievement.
The sheer scale of this is just mind-blowing. Hill spent a quarter of a century, and get this, he wasn't paid for it, analyzing over 500 of the most successful men of his time. He was determined to prove this philosophy actually worked in the real world. This wasn't theory. It was a formula pulled directly from actual, incredible success stories.
And just look at who he was studying. I mean, we're talking about the absolute giants who literally built modern America. Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, John D. Rockefeller. Hill had direct access to these guys, and he spent years breaking down their habits, their mindsets, and their strategies into a set of principles that anyone could follow.
Okay, so what's the first ingredient in this secret formula? It's not just hoping for something. It's not wishing. It all starts with something way, way more powerful: a burning desire.
The book is super clear about this. A burning desire is an all-consuming obsession. It's not just, I'd like to be rich. It's a definite, crystal-clear goal that you pour so much energy into that it becomes the most important thing in your life.
Now, to really get what this means, let's look at this amazing story from the book. It's about a guy named Edwin C. Barnes, who had one single all-consuming obsession. He was going to become the business partner of the great Thomas Edison.
The thing is, Barnes had no money. He didn't even know Edison personally. He literally hopped a freight train to get to New Jersey and just showed up. And notice how specific his goal was, not to work for Edison, but to go into business with him. So he took a low-paying job in the office and just waited, holding on to that goal, until the perfect opportunity popped up, a new invention that nobody else saw the potential in.
He grabbed that chance with both hands and sold that machine so successfully that he achieved his ultimate goal. He literally thought his way into that partnership, proving that an idea, a desire, if you hold on to it with enough persistence, can become a physical reality.
But, you know, what happens when that desire gets tested? The book gives us this incredibly powerful cautionary tale about the #1 reason most people fail. So the book asks this really important question and then answers it right away. The single biggest cause of failure is just the habit of quitting the second you're faced with what feels like defeat. And there's no better example of this than the story of a gold miner named R.U. Darby.
So Darby's uncle strikes gold out in Colorado. They raise money, buy all this machinery, and the first few carts of ore prove they've found something huge. But then, just like that, the vein of gold ore completely vanished. They drilled and drilled, couldn't find it, and finally they just quit. They sold all their equipment to a junk man for a couple $100. But here's the kicker. The junk man was smart. He decided to bring in an expert, an engineer, to check things out. The engineer looked at the maps, did some calculations, and realized the miners had just hit a fault line. The gold hadn't disappeared at all. It was still there, just 3 feet from where they had stopped drilling. The junk man went on to make millions from that same mine.
Can you imagine? Darby was heartbroken, but he never forgot that lesson. He realized he missed out on a fortune because he stopped just 3 feet too soon. So he took that lesson in persistence, he called it stickability, into a new career selling insurance. He swore he'd never again stop just because things got tough. And that mindset made him a millionaire. And all of this brings us back to the main point. Success isn't something that's just out there waiting for you. It starts inside your own head. It starts with the thoughts you choose to focus on and the desire you build. It's about your mind creating your own fortune.
This is it. This is the heart of the entire book, a line you see over and over. It's such a simple idea, but it's incredibly profound. Your thoughts, when you mix them with a real belief, are the starting point for absolutely everything you achieve in life.
And this isn't just some vague concept. The book gives us a very clear, very practical, 6-step method to turn that burning desire into actual money. It's all about being specific, having a plan, and then writing it all down and reading it out loud every single day until you convince your subconscious mind that you've already achieved it.
And that, right there, is the secret that Andrew Carnegie gave to Napoleon Hill. The reason you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, is because you, and only you, have the power to control your own thoughts. And if you can control your thoughts, you can control your destiny. So the real question is, what will you choose to think?